Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is there anyone out there who can hear me?
The commercials seem to be able to hear you.
Indeed. We're watching commercials live on this screen right over here. The jingle bells, jingle all the way.
They can hear us, you can stop saying no.
Oh, what
No.
Oh, what fun it is to run in a one-horn's open sleigh. What is that? One horn's open sleigh?
One horse open sleigh.
One horse, of course, that makes sense. But wait, alright, horse is a winner. I would go with reindeer. Audio seems weird and echoey. Is that?
Might be related to being held 5 centimeters from the mouth, though.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's any unfortunate feedback.
That would be strange if we don't hear it.
If you say so. Hello everyone, welcome. So nice of you to join us. It's really nice to be here. End of the year, end of the season. Man, what a year it has been. What a blast we have had. So many patches, so much quality content delivered from us two, these two guys to you guys. I hope you are all as excited as I am. Does the sound good? I hope the sound is good. If the sound is not good, then let us know in the chat. Hello, Zebra Tool. Say hello to Zebra Tool.
Hello, kids.
Hello, kids. Sound is fine. Awesome. Excellent. Without further ado, we've made another patch. We made a Christmas patch. So I'm figuring, Drunken Jacob asks, OMG, who is this sexy man next to Jorb?
I don't know, is the microphone in the picture or something?
Referring to you, dog. Referring to you, dog. We've made a patch.
Mm-hmm.
You want to push the patch?
I guess we should.
I guess we should. We should give the kids what they want, what they need. Please initiate reset sequence.
Yeah.
So, big L here. If you're logged into the game, you should momentarily see messages informing you. Oops. You got a little sneak peek there of the stuff that we'll be adding. Meanwhile, I'll be posting the change notes here momentarily. Got some good stuff coming your way. So, what are we now? 3 minutes to restart?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That's the idea.
Huh, you even made a little note that we're streaming. That's awfully nice of you. Just pop it in here momentarily. Pulsing through the snow. So how y'all been? Y'all done with your Christmas shopping? I went out today like a beast of a man that I am, and shopped all my Christmas gifts in 2 hours. Took me 2 hours, yo.
Says something about the weight of those presents, right?
So how you doing with the Christmas shopping, Frederick?
Oh, I had mine done in July.
It's exactly what I imagined. So we'll be doing it all on the 23rd, I suppose? Or
Yeah, probably.
Probably, pretty much. Palisade when, asks Clovery. We're already up and running with the Palisade. Might keep on whacking away at that once we're done with once the server kicks us out here and we can go post the announcement and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
All that jazz. Your base looks like shit.
Well, that's no news. They are always like this. Don't worry, I've already told them.
I'm tempted to agree that they maybe aesthetical qualities lacking.
Yeah, well, the point just being that it's your real basis too.
1 minute left until we'll start. Kenshiro says, "We love you, Loftar, no homo." It's good. It's good. No homo. Good. Stay no homo. Stay strong. Stay strong, manly, heterosexual.
Surely some little faggot I've heard.
Just a little, just a smidgen. Just what the doctor ordered. Just a little bit of faggotry. You're probably not allowed to say that on Twitch.
Yeah, there is a risk. Yeah. Is faggotry considered a swear word?
Yeah, I think that's not. I don't think I wouldn't say. I wouldn't use that word.
Yeah, well, sure.
Prolifically.
But I mean, it sounds relatively benign to my ears. I don't know.
It says something about you.
Well, maybe not benign in that manner, but
look, it even censored this guy for trying to use the word.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm. So probably then.
Yeah, let's go post the.
All right. Yes. Let's compile a server as well.
Are the resources on sync?
Not yet.
Please inform me when they are. Probably. I can just post this anyway.
Now they are synced.
Excellent. Boom. Posting this shit right up. We got 97 people watching. Some sort of a record, I think. Boom. We will be sticking that post and desticking this post. Change to standard topic. I want that to be a standard topic.
I assume everyone is appreciating the...
Exactly. I'm sure everyone is as thrilled about my singing as I am. So, let's go read the announcement post. Boom, Christmas Ant Wolf. So here's what we did. There's just a little bit of faggotry in this picture, but that's okay. So, we added anthill dungeons. So, occasionally, when you go out into the wilderness for a little wilderness romp and you go to raid an anthill, anthills may reveal themselves to be more than they first appeared. That is code word for an ant dungeon may appear when you go raid anthills. Also, we added a long missing feature. How do we feel about this one, Loftar? We added wolves.
The reason I've been wanting to wait so long with adding it is that I kind of wanted to improve the AI before adding them, but since that hasn't happened yet, we added them nevertheless.
Word up. So fuck that shit. So what did you want to do with the AI?
Oh, well, good question. I guess just make it a bit more intimidating, I guess. But since I don't know exactly how to accomplish that, there is not much I can tell.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I have some ideas, but that was fast.
You done over there?
Not quite.
We are currently restarting the server. So presently, the server is currently shut down. That is not as it should be. We about to bring it up. So, and we also, of course, added a bunch of stuff related to these things that we added. So there's some content. Dogs are not in yet, so I'll crush your hopes and dreams on that right away. If doggo no temo, it's a doggo non grato, says Mob Schooly. Precursor says, now that we have wolves, what is the next that we get to wait for 10 years? Dragons? Hashtag happening. We also added another credo. Herder credo. Herder. And we pushed 3 different hats to the store. So
there, the server is running again.
All on a Christmas.
Did you actually add the hats to the store this time?
Oh, we haven't added hats to the store. We're gonna go add the hats to the store, boys. Oops, I don't want to delete that now. We're gonna get rid of that one.
And giving away all our administrative secrets in the stream.
Word up, man. We can probably get ourselves hacksaw after this.
Mm-hmm.
Boom and boom. I hope that does it.
Should I guess?
If I didn't foobar something up.
Yep.
Nope, there we go.
Yep.
Looking good. So you got a Rudolph kit. I shall demonstrate the Rudolph kit for you. Here's a Rudolph kit. Oops. Here we go. Vanny Digging asks, Gmail inbox 3102, does it not bother you? The vast majority of those mails are registration emails from Haven and Hearth. So I get an email every time a new user registers. So.
Haven't you filtered those off to another inbox or something? I don't know how Gmail works, but sure, you can do that.
I haven't really cared. Like, I don't really. Doesn't matter if it's in my inbox or another folder or whatever.
Well, I mean, I guess given how your base is in
exactly. I was just going to say that, you know, like, does it matter if I put all my shit in one place or not? Like, what's the problem, sir? I have perfect command of my things here. Jordan Cosley says, do you expect this dungeon to need a group to complete, or will new players be able to solo this? New player, probably not able to solo it, no.
But that is probably as it should.
Yeah, probably, yeah. So, but I think an experienced player, they should be easier than Beaver dungeons.
Certainly, they should be a lot easier than Beaver dungeons, I think.
So, we'll leave it at that. Have you handed out the hats to the subscribers?
Oh, no, I have not.
Oh, that explains why Replicant 8 has not received any of the hats. He's going to receive all of the hats. All of the hats.
Do we know that he has a gold subscription?
No, but he claims, and I trust him. He seems like a trustworthy fellow. And so, yeah, we have the Rudolph kit. You can get that right here. It looks like this. You got your reindeer horns, and we also... See, do I have them here? We added... we added a strawberry Santa hat. Pretty cool. And a Yule top with bells and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the bells are not jingly.
Disappointment all around.
Yes, exactly.
Though that's probably as it should. I'm still not sure the clap hat was a good idea.
Yeah, did you make it so that the snow stops melting?
Yes.
Yep, snow is officially not melting. So it's officially winter. Haven and Hearth has turned into winter wonderland. And we can all get our winter on. So yeah, as I said, I did all my Christmas shopping today, which feels pretty good. I'm actually pretty stoked to
announce that.
To announce that. I'm pretty stoked to announce that I did all my Christmas shopping.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank my family and all my friends who supported me. And no, but it feels good to have it done, and it feels good that it's almost Christmas. I'm looking forward to having some R&R. It's been a pretty busy fall. How do you feel about Christmas, Frederick?
Yeah, it's nice. I'm not sure what else to say.
Not sure what else to say.
I'm sure I've deserved it.
Deserved what? Some Western recreation?
I don't know. Anything, I guess.
You deserve good things. Why wouldn't you deserve good things?
There we go. Now everything should be.
Everything is as it should be.
The hat should be doled out.
Drunken Jacob asks, was it a wolf cape in your inventory?
Yes.
Might it have been? Might it just have been? It's just too crazy. Man, wow, intense. So, how about I do, oops, like this, boom, 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 show that for a while. Make a dungeon. We're gonna have a look at a dungeon right here on the stream. We're gonna have a look at the dungeon. Jordan Cozy asks, lol, tameable ants when? I actually considered adding aphids, and we also considered adding honeypot ants. So.
Though that's probably a different thing from tameable ants, but...
Sure. But you never know. Maybe the aphids could be tameable. Okay, so... Okay, so check this out now, guys. Check this out now. Ah, pretty cool, huh? Okay, so here we have a dungeon. Let's see what my stats are at. I don't know, reasonable-ish. I have a little bit of armor here. Red Claw's dripping brood of multitude. The portable Brando says Haven needs more animations. It's tight. Yeah, I could be tempted to agree there. Animations tend to liven things up. So...
See, Dr. Viper asks if 200 plus strength, melee, and agility is enough to take an ant dungeon. I'd say that's probably enough to solve a beaver dam, though.
Yeah, not in one go, though. I'm not going to be able to complete this in one go here.
No, but one go is a different thing, isn't it?
Definitely. So I might cheat a little here and kill a couple of these furries if they don't respect my authority properly. So how's the client rendering thing coming for Vic?
Not sure what I reported last time, to be honest. So I'm not sure what kind of delta to give since then.
I know. What was it last time? It's October, right?
Yeah, Halloween.
Did you have shadows working yet? No.
No, that's the thing I'm saving for last. Yeah. I think I told you this.
Yeah, I'm sure you told me plenty of times, but I'm not entirely sure what you told the kid.
But yes, you're asking.
Yes. Well, I'm asking. I'm conducting a little impromptu interview.
But
I'm asking questions in order to be able to. I'm not asking for myself. I'm asking for the viewers. This is a selfless act on my part.
Right.
I'm sure. I'm pretty happy with these thus far. With the dungeon. The dungeons are kind of interesting. It's a lot of work putting in a dungeon.
Yeah, and they could be so much more too.
Yeah, definitely. Got some curious needles and shit. Yeah, they could be a lot more actually. Like it feels like we could do a lot more with the dungeons that we have already implemented. So there's like you could always add more props and always add more enemies and more variations and more puzzles and stuff. I was thinking to myself the other day that it might be cool to have like a quest in the dungeon. Like when you enter the dungeon, you get a quest to like complete something or speak to someone in the dungeon or do something or save someone from the dungeon or
Yeah, perhaps. I would be somewhat concerned with the life cycle of that quest though, but conceivably.
Well, I mean, I think it would be fairly simple as long as the quest is static enough that anyone who enters the dungeon can get it.
Yeah, it's just it also needs to be synchronized so that it disappears when the dungeon dies and so on and so forth. But
what on? The portable Brando asks, would it be possible to remove minimap in dungeons or create more of a fog of war type
Well, I mean, I'm sure it would be possible to hide the minimap, but custom clients would just bring that back, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the fact that the dungeon is only partially revealed as you go through it is probably the best we can do with that.
Right on. Very Sad Bear says, can you wear these wings that you have in your inventory? No, I cannot. I kind of added them just this morning or just this afternoon as an afterthought. So, no, I cannot. But that would be cool. So, kind of hussar's wings.
Mm-hmm.
Come on! I'm not missing anything, right? No, we're just...
So. It was you who insisted on the interval, on the spawning interval.
You mean this is a key room?
Probably.
So this is a new mechanic that we added, that the ants sometimes drop keys. There we go. Which are shaped like a needle for maximum confusion.
And I did notice they were very similar to the Curious Needles.
Medlon says, you guys two main developers. Yes, we are certainly the two main developers.
Rather the two sole developers.
The two sole developers. We are the developers. It's me and that guy. What do you know? I found a very special little key. Now to keep it in a place where I won't mix it up with every other crazy key.
One might wonder if you aren't spoiling the fun for those discovering the dungeons for the first time, though.
Well, I mean, not everyone is watching the stream. You have anything better?
No, I don't know. Just saying.
Well, maybe. You guys wanna see more dungeon, or do you guys want me to go play with Rombambomban instead? we'll let you decide. If you want no more spoilers, you know. 106 people are watching, Jorb. That is literally everyone. No, the bots are not here. The bots are not here.
That too.
Why are the bots not here? Fair amount of Cyrillic in the chat. No idea what Mopsy Paces and the Rasvet are going whole hog on the Russian. Drunken Jacob says, whole dungeon. Whole dungeon. He wants to see the whole dungeon. But it takes a fair amount of time to implement the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Was another observation. And it's fairly grindy. Like, you know. Oh, so let's make 10 ants. 10 variations of ants. Hey guys, what about a card system? Like in Ragnarok? For example, you have a 0.1000% to drop a special card from monster that can be used at the beginning. Is that a rare item drop, quite simply?
What is the difference between a card and an item, I guess?
That is a well-formulated. Kenshi Rock says, a way to repel midges when?
Well, as soon as it's invented in real life, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. The midges are a biatch in real life, as it is, and hard to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Jordan Close. The small ants are nice. Did any of you see the Quiet Storm Siege? Did you pay any attention to the Quiet Storm Siege, Frederick, or is
I did not know there was a siege even.
That is news to you.
Yes.
Quiet Storm has fallen.
I did not know there was anything called Quiet Storm.
Okay, I think it's the main settlement of the Kingdom of Storm, which you
I see.
Familiar with.
I would be familiar with that, yes.
So I think I'm not really sure. I think probably the. I saw a screenshot on the forums of someone posting. Someone posting an image of the Quiet Storm realm blessings being down to literally almost nothing. So
I see. So what they actually raised the kingdom itself.
No. The realm is still there, but I think the statues and whatnot are probably.
I see.
Probably down. Feel free to correct me on that if I'm wrong. Quiet Storm got obliterated. It didn't fall.
What's the difference?
What's the difference? Midges actually aren't too horrible in my part of the world. Mosquitoes are the damn problem. Now see, by midge I mean mosquito.
Indeed.
So I'm not sure.
I was under the impression that midge was pretty much an archaic word for mosquito.
That was the impression I got as well when I googled this. So if you know better, I mean,
if that is not the case, then I am slightly curious what midge actually means.
yes, and I'm also slightly curious then what the archaic English word for
mosquito actually is.
For mosquito actually is. Like,
because it's kind of strange that
you're using a Spanish word for
such a common occurrence.
Yeah, for something that is like literally everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a common theme with English, like all names, they always suck. There's just no nice way to say it.
Well, I mean, sure, but most of them are either Latin or Greek, though.
Yeah. For example, the owl that we added the other day, I guess and intensity is increasing too much. No, the owl that we added a patch or two ago is called, in English, it's called eagle owl, which is just, a combination of two different words. It just makes zero sense whatsoever. And in Swedish, a higher, more noble language, it is called berg-ud. And berg-ud, that has a completely different ring to it now, does it not?
It does.
It does. So yeah, we're from Sweden, best country, Sweden.
Sweden, yes.
Yeah. So, give us your thoughts on that. Why are English species names so terrible?
Well, I mean, that being said, though, I do often get the feeling and get the impression that there are, so to speak, real names for most of these things, only that they aren't on the internet.
Right.
There is some comment on the midge in the chat. What does it say, though? Can't read the.
This is a midge. To the untrained eye, midges look very similar to mosquitoes. Midges, however, do not bite. They do not transmit disease. Midges do tend to swarm and are extremely attracted to lights, including bug zappers. Okay. So maybe there is a distinction there.
Sounds like.
So what
it sounds a bit like what like they are describing knot.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. And I'm not sure really what the distinctions are there. If someone wants to give me the authoritative answer to this, Google away. Yeah, gnat is a word in English as well.
Yeah, but that does mean knot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Gnats are knot. You heard it here first. Gnats are knot. Who knows? Okay, so we're gonna chillax a little bit with the dungeon here. We don't want to give it away all at once. Go chop some blocks. Keep working at the settlement, best settlement. So how do you, tell me, Frederick, how do you organize your bases?
Well, that's a good question, I guess. But at least I don't just drop stuff in the midst of it.
I see. This is natural evolution. Organic growth of a base.
Which is a strong argument for intelligent design, isn't it?
Mopsy Pacey says, what did he say? Mopsy Pacey, what did you say? Is it cannot decide if he is housewife or a warrior?
Okay.
This is probably true. I've long been undecided on this question. Am I a housewife or a warrior? Jingle bells, jingle all the So I bought Super Smash Bros.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, really? That's
a Christmas gift.
That's
someone special.
That's strange, since I've been looking more forward to it than you probably have.
Yeah, absolutely. You hyping it, and I was like, I'm gonna buy a Switch game as a gift, and none of these games interest me that much. I buy Smash Bros.
Interesting.
Didn't find that there were like that many games that seemed super interesting. There was like Doom. I think there's a new Doom for Switch.
I don't think that's actually all that new, but if it's the Doom, I might know.
Old Doom.
Not sure though. I haven't really been following it that closely. I've just been hearing of this Doom for quite some time. I think it has been highly praised for its highly optimized Vulkan implementation.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So, and that would explain why you've heard of it, perhaps.
Indeed.
Awesome. So Vulkan actually seeing commercial use then?
Yes, I think this Doom is one of the poster giants of good Vulkan implementations.
Awesome.
Yep.
So what's good about it?
Yeah, well, it's simply that it's highly optimized. I don't think there are any public details about it more than that, but it has a good rumor about it being really fast and optimized.
Awesome. I haven't played a good shooter in a while, so.
I haven't actually played Doom since Doom 2.
No, me neither, probably. When I think of Doom, I think of like old school.
Yes, exactly.
2D-ish Doom.
Exactly.
And that is Doom 2, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I never played Doom 3 yet. Hey Jorb, is it possible to optimize the FPS of the game in-game when a lot of animals on the screen? FPS falls strongly. Frederick, any thoughts on that?
Well, that's exactly what the client rewrite is about, isn't it?
Exactly. All of this sounds very familiar.
It does.
Yeah, no, that is what we're working on, Rasvet. The big thing that Frederick here is working on is what we call the client rendering rewrite. It's been an ongoing thing now for
far too long.
For pushing on, like, it's a year and a half now, might be 2 years soon. So, yeah, but we're getting places. Have less animals. Look at Europe. He has 0 animals. Ain't that so? Ain't that good?
There is a case to be made, though, to be honest. I mean, when you have these pens of 1,000 animals and complain about bad FPS, then, that is slightly upon you. Because, I mean, the thing is, no matter how well the client will be optimized in the future, there will always be a way to stretch it beyond its capabilities.
Yeah, which is actually somewhat interesting. Like I mean, most computer games that are developed, developers are free to take all kinds of shortcuts to optimize the game, and they can limit the amount of shit on screen and all kinds of stuff. But in Haven, like, players can have many degrees of building freedom.
I have actually reflected a bit on that lately. I don't know what made me think of it again, but I was thinking about Mario 64, and I have seen some of its implementation details.
Okay.
And one of the interesting things about it is that, and I mean, one of the interesting thing about the architecture of many of these slightly old school games, not just Mario 64, but the old Mario games as well, is that I guess the reason I arrived at thinking about it is because their architecture is in some ways more robust,
right,
because they have, for instance, a fixed table of live objects, which is interesting because they never need to keep memory pointers to object structures, because they don't dynamically allocate objects. They have a fixed table of objects, and if you want to point to an object, you would just keep an index to that table instead.
Okay.
Which is both efficient in that an object pointer, so to speak, takes less memory since it's an integer, an index to a smaller table than the entirety of memory.
So basically, you don't have to dereference the pointer.
Well, you still have to dereference, of course. You effectively do construct a pointer whenever you actually use such an index,
okay,
which you then dereference. But the point being that you can, for instance, have a stale object pointer pointing to something that is not an object. You might have, if you have a stale object pointer, then it might be pointing to the wrong object, or a dead object, or an unused object slot, or something like that.
Okay,
but it can be pointing to something completely else, which also means that if you happen to use a stale object pointer, you aren't corrupting something else. You aren't corrupting malloc fences or map data or something, which in a way makes these game agents more robust.
Right.
But it does also mean that I mean, they are limited, since the entire object table is statically allocated. They are limited in the number of objects that they can theoretically handle.
Right.
There can never be more than, say, 256 objects on screen at the same time.
I get it. And so what is your further reflection upon this?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I have any actually interesting reflections on it. It's just an observation that there are, I guess, benefits and drawbacks to it. It's more robust, and it can be. I mean, it's interesting in a performance perspective in that you can kind of make the rendering system deterministic, in that you can effectively calculate the maximum frame time that the game can produce.
Right.
Because, you know, the most expensive object times in the entire object table, it can't be more expensive than that.
Sure.
Which and also it's more robust in that interesting way. So it's but obviously we can't do that in Haven, because, you know, if we limit ourselves to like any arbitrary limit of objects, then that would probably not be quite. I mean, it would either take up too much static memory or be too little.
Exactly. That's interesting.
Not sure if it actually means anything else.
I mean, I think generally, like, you know, old console games, people probably made more with less, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a man here.
There is a man here.
Kill to following me.
That's assuring.
There's a man here called Kill 2 who says he wants to be my friend. So what's our combat deck looking like?
Thinking of taking him down.
Yes. And attack him. Come on, roll. Can't take me. Can't take me down, bro. But yeah, no, so I think Quiet Storm was obliterated, which is sad. Apparently someone felt the need to write the 2 weeks before Christmas. That's when they decide to be dicks about it.
Yeah, that's rude, isn't it?
It is quite rude actually. It is. I wouldn't do that. But yeah, the sieging was fairly retarded in many ways. I dropped in on it because someone sent me some ugly ass screenshots of things going on.
I see.
That's what you were with me when this happened.
Oh, was that it?
That was in the early part of the siege.
I see.
Hey, we killed a fox. Zented69 said, I feel like I just aged 5 years listening to this rant. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. No. Sure.
I'm glad that I could mature you 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad we added 5 years to your IQ. Well, let's go raid an Anto with this bad boy of a character. So we finally got wolves in. Pretty excited about that. Like, we can move on from this to add dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how we should do dogs. I've been thinking a little bit about that. Should there be, I mean, when you domesticate dogs, the usual next thing on the menu is to breed them into oblivion in various ways.
Not sure that's the actual next point on the menu, but sure.
It's my experience that humans, when in contact with dogs, it seems that the logical steps are A, tame dogs, B.
Well, I mean, I guess I wouldn't really know, but I feel like that is a fairly modern thing.
I wouldn't know either. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm sure there are modern dog breeds, but I'm not sure how many.
Yeah, but I mean the breeding into oblivion thing more specifically.
Right, sure. Did we
Oh,
crash?
we did indeed crash.
We have a crash. There's a crash. And when this happens, Loftar here just kind of hits a computer like in 2 seconds. He is alive. Fortunately, we still have the test server up and running. We can just restore, make some bread, munch down on some bread here. Keep on rocking with the dungeon. Hey, we found. All kinds of ways. I need to save that one.
That's strange.
Not pulsing through the shoe. I'm gonna add a sound effect to that. Manny13 says, I would love to have wolf dogs. Since Haven is so early in history, they likely should probably not be fully domesticated. Also, wolf dogs look awesome. Yeah. Aussies checked a dungeon and it seemed really easy, so that's good. It's a good review. Ooh, you fucked up good there, bro.
Oh, so it seems. Oh, that's interesting. How could I have done that?
Yeah, there is a long ass question here. Biz says, as we make our lives more complicated, can you say what do you think about connecting domestic animal meat stats with food they eat? For example, pork's base is 3 strength, 3 constitution. When pigs would eat only pumpkins, they would give more cons, like. So basically, you want to make it so that animal meat output reflects what the animal had during its lifetime. That's an interesting thought. It's a bit of work, but yeah.
Well, that's fine, I guess, but I'm not sure I really like the idea. I mean, I don't think pig meat should just completely morph around to whatever. I mean, if you just feed them carrots, should it just give perception? Then I'm not sure that's
delicate question how you would define the request here. So not really, no. Can I suggest one-handed scythe? You can certainly suggest it. You're free to suggest it. Had the idea of a sickle for quite some time, but not sure what the balance is there. I'm actually starting to warm up to Granger's idea that scythes should harvest multiple times at once.
What should harvest multiple times?
Scythes.
Oh, I see.
Come on, mates. Come on. So that's really the only reason why it hasn't been implemented, I guess. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Oh, naughty. Oh, naughty. Well, what was it you had done goofed?
I had apparently This is quite rare for me, to be honest, but I had apparently messed up the indentation, so that I thought an F statement was guarded by another F statement, when in fact it wasn't. I don't usually do that. This is so strange, though.
Drunken Jacob says, any new ideas for combat change? That's a good question.
I wish we had those.
I wish we had good ones. We have some. I have some. One thing I liked about Legacy's combat is Legacy had some shared states that both players could use as a resource. I like that. I think that was a pretty good idea because it created an interesting, kind of, potentially could create an interesting game theory situation where it's like, take a classic game theory example where we both take turns dropping coins into a hat, and any one of us can take all the coins whenever he or she decides to. So it's an interesting kind of game theory thing, how far you let the coin hat grow before you take it. And that kind of game theory could perhaps be interesting in the fighting system as well. That being said, I don't know, more fundamental issues is, like, we haven't gotten away from just, spamming one type of attack over and over and over. I'd like to get away from that. And yeah, I'm not really 100% on how to best accomplish that, truth be told. But,
speaking of which.
Yeah, speaking of which. Let's see. Salem combat, maybe, minus everything to do with yellow bile phlegm. We did try more directional combat, and I think that could be an interesting venue still in some senses. I think trying to incorporate the character's movement more with the combat system. But I cannot claim to have a patent solution for how to it is absolutely stupid to have any combat mechanic that negates defenses. Yeah, some element of more directional combat could be fun, but the problem with having it on like every other attack is that leaves a good amount of space for targeting bots and that kind of stuff.
Well, that being said, though, I do want to interject that arguably, I mean, if there's a reason, if there is a reason why it worked better in Salem than our attempt, then it is because we added no delays and stuff in our attempt.
Sure, but I mean, aimbots were a thing in Salem as well, right?
Yeah, but I don't really think they were such a big deal. Perhaps I don't really know that well, but what is this?
Yeah, I don't really know. Can't claim to really know that. Oh. Hey guys, a bit unusual question. I'm remaking Haven Client in JS as a hobby project. Got walking up and working, but experiencing an issue where my character stops from crossing minimap borders. Am I missing something in protocol, or is it just my code being shitty? Probably your code being shitty.
I wouldn't really know from just that description, you know.
Probably have to provide more exhaustive details on your problem. Hard to say. Zented69 says, what about weapon proficiency? I mean, I'm not against implementing weapon proficiency, but I have to, being good, he wants there, so you have to train with a weapon in order to be competent with it or whatever. But I don't think that's kind of the be-all, end-all of, I don't think that's really the meat and potatoes of the combat system, so to speak. I think I mean, we could add weapon proficiencies, but like, does that affect the fundamentals of, you know, how attacks are timed and what kind of attacks you have? And I mean, those are the first questions.
Certainly.
Just like weapons proficiency. Why can't we craft pigments in a barrel with an empty barrel open when crafting, even if they are stored in the barrel? Is that a bug or intention?
I think that's true for all substances, isn't it? It's not just pigments.
Craft flour to barrels.
Yeah. And that's probably just a bug with pigment specifically.
Probably a pigment-specific bug, sir. I
wasn't aware of that.
I will look at it, but my hands are a bit tied, so I can't really write shit down right now. Is the server back up again?
No, not yet, but it's on its way.
BATV.
It is on its way.
It's on its way! all those of you who are tired of the stream and want to go play, server shall be up momentarily. So far right over here. Boom. Zented says it could add some flavor to fight mechanics, like you never know what kind of skill your opponent will have. Well, I mean, that's still true as it is. Like, you kind of never know what kind of skills they have in unarmed combat and melee and shit. So I don't really know what weapon proficiencies change per se. Can you read the thing I said earlier about Salem combat? Asks Jorb and Loftar. Yeah, sure. I'll have a look. Aimbots were sort of a thing, says Jordan Coles, but they were buggy as hell. They would constantly redirect the character towards the target, stopping you slightly every time. Well, that seems like a problem.
Well, I mean, more importantly, it was just aiming directly for someone in Salem seems kind of pointless since there's a delay on the attack.
That's true. There was a delay. There was a build.
I do think there were aimbots, but I only heard about them for ranged weapons.
Right. Why would you want them more for range?
I don't know, actually.
Because I'm not at all opposed to picking a leaf from Salem Street. I think Salem had pretty fun combat, truth be told. So.
I'm somewhat split about that. I mean, there was the whole what do you call it, pursuit situation. Wasn't that fairly retarded in Salem? That it was more or less impossible to hit someone while pursuing them.
That's true, but we did add some moves to help with that.
Yes, but I always thought they sucked. That being said, I do think that situation could be improved in other ways, though. But I guess one of the main issues, at least, with Salem's combat. I mean, mind you, I'm not really sure there's an issue with Salem's combat or with Haven's combat in reality, but it doesn't really interact well with fighting with how combat relations work.
That's true.
It was always kind of I mean, there are a couple of aspects to it, I guess. One of the lesser aspects is that, you know, for some elements in the game it matters who initiated combat relation, like whether you are allowed to knock them without a crime on your own claim and such things. And that doesn't really work, since the defender may have to initiate the combat relation in Salem. But apart from that, I don't know. It's just even having persistent combat relations in that system is just a bit weird.
Right on. Do we need to have combat relations?
Not sure. I mean, I guess one use for them for sure, and I think that was their main use in Salem too, was to lock people out from logging out.
That's true. But I mean, you could lock people out from logging out in other ways.
Yeah, sure. Certainly.
I like having the avatars up in the right hand corner for your enemies.
I guess.
think that's just from a lore perspective or whatever.
I guess. I'm not entirely sure how to feel about that.
So we're gonna chillax here for a while. Meanwhile, oh no, sorry, that's not what I meant to be doing. I mean, I think for single player, the single player kind of thing there is that I would just love if there were any reason for me to use any other maneuver than just spam the attacks all the time.
That's really the main aspect, I think.
That's, you know, I'd be happy as a peach if that were the case.
Mm-hmm.
Or if there were like any element of interaction, whereas like I have to respond to the things that are done to me. It's like making goldfish too much.
Yes.
I can just goldfish completely and just, you know, care not what my opponent does.
And I'm not sure to what extent that's an inherent problem with being able to level up above the animals. I mean, to some extent, I've noticed myself just, you know, ignoring an animal until I am at the level at which I can just spam an attack, which is a fair bit retarded.
So snowball fight in Valhalla if anyone wants to have a snowball in their face. I'm right here. I'm ready to take you assholes on. Anyone dare? What's the 4K ball thing called? It's called 4K ball.
Balls 4K, perhaps? Not sure.
Do I dispense them or do I make them? Or do I
MK item them.
No such items, sir.
No, I said balls 4K. Could be spelled out, perhaps. Oh, 4K balls spelled out.
There we go. I think running away is the only viable option for a large majority of players who don't heavily PvP. So taking away the option of escape is the worst mistake you can do.
I don't think we were really talking about taking away the option to escape though.
No, I mean we talked about it a little bit.
If anything, I think we were talking about it being too easy to escape in Salem.
Yeah. Not sure how that actually plays out in him. Can these be stashed in a hearth fire?
I'm not sure, honestly. Probably not.
I can teach him balls by right clicking. I can teach him snowballs. That's stupid. We must have added teaching after.
Probably, but you know, you could also not click right on him.
He had it. Traveler's down. Stop skipping my suggestions. Okay, I shall immediately. What was your suggestion, sir? What is his name?
I think you are just about to get a snow mask.
I missed it, Uthli. Please present your question again. He missed me.
It's fun how they learn the snow mask the first time they are hit.
Oh, that's what happens. They get to feel the cold.
Yep.
They learn the cold. Oh no, I dropped my snowball. No, I learned the cold.
Stop clicking right on them.
Stop telling me what to do. Fascist, you're not my real father. Boom. That guy right over there is gonna get his. Gonna get his. Gonna get his.
Keep skewing it.
I wonder if you could do something more with this to like make it more interesting. Could you like have a snow fort or could
It's no what?
Snow fort.
Oh, well, I mean, you could, and I think people have done that in the past. You could build walls with snow stockpiles.
That's true. Just build a little protective fort here. Fuckers, stay out of my fort. Oops. Oh no! Oh no! Take the snow mask off. And, I snowed myself. That's the ultimate.
You know, you can control click to walk while carrying it.
Right, that's true. But I actually can't because it's buggy as fucking for some reason doesn't work.
Oh.
Yeah, I've told you about this a million times. This works highly selectively for me. Like, just like works every.
That's strange.
It's okay, you can all get a 4K balls here if you come pick it up. Now walk away, move away, traveler. Everyone gets one. You get one. Move away when you have your one. There are 2 people here, one of you took it. Move away. Move away when you take your balls. Move away when you're taking your balls. Everyone takes their balls and then moves away. Please pick up your balls, people. People.
I got my balls.
People, come grab my balls. come grab my balls, children. Has everyone received their balls? Has everyone taken the balls? Good. Everyone has balls?
This never ceases to be funny, no matter how old you get.
I know. That's the truth. That is the truth. How do I join this game? You feel like you're missing out now, right? When everyone is getting bald, and that's when people want to join Halo. It's like when the balls come out, everyone's like, "What, man? Fuck! Why haven't I been playing Halo?" Everyone goes that way. God damn it! I keep. You need to work on your giving projectiles some chance to achieve escape velocity before they hit test against the person who threw them or whatever. I can ball myself.
Are you sure that's what you're doing? I'm pretty sure that's supposed to work.
Look, I balled myself.
I never knew that.
This problem, for the record, has been solved in Boats of Sky. So if you want to play an objectively better game, then there's always Boats of Sky. You can check it out, boatsofsky.com. It's a pretty good game. Certainly recommend it. We may even play a little bit of Boats of Sky later if everyone is up for it. Who am I kidding? Aren't we all up for Boats of Sky? Okay,
all day, every day.
All day, every day. That's exactly right. We're not going to play Boats of Sky today. Is anyone lacking balls? Does anyone need balls? Anyone for balls? You know, I'm snowman again. But yeah, combat is I'd love for it to be a lot better than it is.
Definitely.
I really hate that it's so terrible.
Yes.
So if there's one thing we should be working on, it's that. It's also so, how do you say, trustlöst in English.
Good question, I guess.
But it is that.
It is exactly that.
It's comfortless. It's very uphill. It's like we feel like we've tried and failed it so many times, and it's easy to get kind of defeatist. But we are going to try again at some point during the next year. We are going to try again. This is my promise to you.
Pretty sure that is going to happen.
Oh no, I got snowed. Pretty good, in fact.
Yes. But I mean, it is a really good question what you actually want to do about combat.
Thought we had like the idea to make it
To have shared states, you mean?
shared states and
Oh yeah, sure.
some sort of directional implementation might be a workable avenue as well.
Yeah, perhaps I'm not. I'm quite split on that issue. I mean, there is under all circumstances the problem that is quite latency bound.
Sure.
I mean, even if you add delays, delays would make it better, of course, but it's still going to be much more latency bound than the current combat system, I think.
Sure.
And that's always going to be a problem, at least. Not sure how big of a problem though. Not sure how big of a problem that actually was in Salem, to be honest.
The latency thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, actually. It was never that much of a problem for me, but...
Yeah, but we've always been close to the server. I do think there were at least some people complaining about
there
latency.
were complaints about it, for sure. But I mean, that's a problem. That's a problem inherent to the MMO genre as well. I mean, that's going to be a problem in Haven as well. So.
Yeah, but therefore you could argue to build the combat system around it. I mean, that's what we've been trying to do with the current combat system.
Sure.
Real weapons? How rude!
Someone bring a
bow to a snow fight.
Exactly. Someone brought a what you would call it to a snow fight.
What is that above his head?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's his username.
Oh yes, right. Of course, we're friends.
No, everyone is friends in Valhalla.
Right. I'm with you. What about making crabs holding random items like stone knife, scrap of metal, that greatly increases the chance to get a wound? Now we're talking. He wants to greatly increase the chance to get a wound. I like that.
Why don't you move that window out from the margin so that I can read it?
That window.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I move that window, that fucks up the whole Twitch setup a little bit.
Oh?
Yes. I'll explain it to you later. Just
okay.
Can't really move that. Or let's try it. Playing Frederick is really tough and everything. I mean, I get that kind of shitty effect.
Oh? How strange.
Fucked up later.
How strange.
And I can probably do like that. Is that better, maybe?
What is that?
What is what?
Why is it like that? Why is it like a completely separate chat window?
Because there's a distinction between Twitch is capturing, the window Twitch is capturing, and Twitch is capturing two things, both my desktop and that window specifically. I don't know 100% sure if that's the perfect setup for it. Probably not, truth be told. But that's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, that seems to work. So. Right, he fired at me with a bow. A little further. He bowed me.
I'm not sure what the point about the crabs being though.
About the crabs?
Mm-hmm.
I think he wants crabs to be armed. I'm hard time. Okay, you guys keep the snow fight going. I'm gonna go dungeon some more. Dungeon some more here. Keep the infotainment going. I've noticed when doing the Fisherman's Credo that if you get a quest for Crab Row, you better use an alt, because regardless of it, if you use gloves, you always get tons of unhealable damage from Crab Caress. I suggest allowing treatment of the wound or removing the chance of being wounded when using gloves. How do you feel about that?
Well, that sounds just about horrible, doesn't it? I mean, it's not that bad, come on.
And
this was not a problem for me when I was doing the fisherman quests.
That's true. It wasn't a problem for me either, truth be told, though I don't recall getting that many quests to go get crab roe either.
Yes, this is certainly true. But you know, when you're doing Fisherman's Quest and you get crab roe from at unrelated times, you save up on it, surely.
Indeed. Sure.
Sure. I mean, otherwise you have but yourself to blame.
You are to blame, sir. That is the answer that we have to give. That you are to blame. Wearing gloves greatly reduces the risk of you receiving wounds. So.
It does indeed.
So there's that. Is full circle any good? Probably not.
Oh, did he mean by that previous crab comment that it should be visible from the crabs which ones will hurt you?
Maybe. Oh, right, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's one interpretation. That could be made. Oh. 3 doors.
Indeed.
Oh, that's special. Any of these new?
Nope.
Nope. But that one is.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put you that one right now. Loftar gets it. I knew I was right to pick Loftar for love. No homo.
I don't usually.
It sounds pretty homo. You may say no homo, but is it truly no homo? Butcher this little hand right up. So yeah, I mean that could be fun. It could be a little bit fun having a crab come at you brandishing a knife.
I am somewhat doubtful. I mean, certainly it should. I mean, certainly you shouldn't be able to tell in advance which ones will hurt you. That just makes no sense.
He thinks you're retarded. This guy right here, the guy whom you profess your love to, he thinks you're retarded.
It is unrequited, sir.
So much for your love. Should have stuck with me, buddy. Boom, another room. Like, so I made, what was it, two definitely could use more variation in the ant enemies. And in the beaver enemies, and in the bat enemies.
And all enemies, arguably.
Have a visible indicator how big the chances are. Well, now you're just plain out ugly suggestion. Do you want there to be a little percentage hovering above every crab? No, sir. No, we shall not do it like this.
Well, I mean that would just mean that you would pick those that are not armed. I mean, why would we even have the armed ones then?
Word up. I agree with you. James 12 says, I'm going to be happy when I get a dog as a hunting companion and hoping that will be coming soon. Yeah, we actually.
Well, I mean, it sounds from that like you have a preconceived notion about what a dog as a hunting companion will actually mean for you.
Yep, that it does.
And I'm not even sure what it means.
Someone who tags along and helps you fight?
Yeah, well, we did discuss that. But isn't it kind of retarded that, you know, PvP then devolves to bringing a pack of 100 dogs with every player?
That is probably pretty retarded. That would be pretty retarded were that the case. That is the best strategy, or one good strategy that I found in Unreal World, by the way.
Oh, I see. Is that so?
Yeah, have like 9 dogs on a leash and basically count losing, I think.
I see. I mean, even considering us limiting it to, you know, being able to leash 1 dog at a time or something, which is obviously horribly unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
But even if we did that, even then, would it be fun that you effectively had to bring dogs to PvP? Well,
if that were the case.
If that were the case, I guess.
if you had to bring them. That doesn't sound like fun when you put it like that. But I don't know. But I mean, it is an interesting question as to what they would actually do for it. I mean, track animals could be a more benign suggestion.
I guess.
Add dogs so I can eat them. That would be a more Chinese suggestion.
Indeed.
I've never had a dog.
I don't think many outside. I don't think many have actually.
I'd be up for
I don't
trying.
really know.
I'd be up for trying.
Isn't it kind of a myth that is a thing in China?
No. Eating dogs is a thing.
Okay.
Eating dogs.
I thought that was kind of a myth.
I'm pretty sure eating dogs is a real thing. I'd be up for trying, truth be told. I watched a YouTube video of a guy. He was in South America somewhere at a local farmers market or whatever, and they were, I shit you not, bats were a huge thing. Like they were butchering and eating bats.
I see. Well, I mean, interestingly enough, when we were researching ants for the anthill dungeon, we also found that ant larvae was consumed kind of as caviar in certain countries. So you never know.
It just Thailand, I think.
Possibly.
Southeast Asian country.
It doesn't seem like dog meat would taste good.
No, arguably, but isn't it the case that most predatory animals?
Yeah, it isn't it?
Taste like crap.
Isn't it indeed?
I mean, we don't eat wolves really, but bears can be eaten. But then again, they are omnivores. So.
Indeed. Well, arguably, dogs are too.
True. Are dogs big on veggies?
Not sure, actually.
Can dogs eat veggies? Chat.
I think so.
Dogs. Veggies. Is it a thing? But it would be but yeah, the real question is someone said we should implement wolf dogs. So basically, dogs that are close to wolves.
I think that's just a breed.
Right? But basically, I think he wants just a figure space type of dog.
Yeah, certainly. And that's the only reasonable implementation, surely, anyway. I don't think we would be implementing Chihuahuas. Correct me if you had other plans. But
what about poodles?
Yeah. I mean, correct me if you had other plans, but...
Death 12236 says, I feed my dogs a mix of meat and vegetables. They can't eat all veggies, though.
Gotta be careful. Is that a chewing
Yeah.
thing?
No,
Since they have no cheeks?
Might be, I don't know. It's also that I think onion is really bad for them, right?
Yeah, that might be a thing.
I think there are a lot of things, I think chocolate is really bad for them.
Yeah, that I know is true.
So there are certainly things that are not good for our two-legged friend. No chihuahuas. See, death is sad, I'm sad.
Well, actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think actually Chihuahuas are not domesticated from dogs, even from wolves, even.
Oh.
I think they are domesticated from foxes.
No, that is not true. That cannot, no way. I'm not buying that for 2 seconds.
Not sure, admittedly, but
No, I'm not buying that. That is calling bullshit on that. And foxes, I saw a video once of people who had just recently begun domesticating foxes at all. I don't think domesticating foxes is a big thing. It has been a thing in the past. I'm skeptical. I may be wrong. I'm
fairly sure I heard it like that at least, but I shall not bet on it.
You shouldn't listen to all the things that the bad men tell you.
Which is why I tend not to listen to you.
It's an uncalled for swipe.
Well, it was you who started it.
That's true. It's probably true. That is probably true. This was a really long ass haul over here.
Yes, well, most anthill dungeons are fairly long, I think.
You still have 2 doors in the 3-door room that we haven't explored yet. Granger says, at Bruderbone and the other troll. When will you finally remove the complete obsolete cooldown at combat start?
Oh, that's a good question, I guess.
Why did we add it?
We added it in the previous combat system so that you had time to initiate.
Your defenses.
Yes.
That's a good question, Granger.
I've run across it a couple of times by now and then wondered if we shouldn't remove it, but then I always forgot to bring it up.
It was a band-aid fix for a combat flaw
Indeed.
I don't know.
Should I just do that right now and commit it?
Just remove it.
I do seem to recall us having some reason to keep it though. But, perhaps it was just an FU.
What harm can it do? A little unconsidered change in the last minute. Throw it in there.
Yeah.
What harm can it do? Against Insta-Chop, which is gone now. Oh! Bum, bum, bum. I have been completely bald.
Well, that's surprising.
Probably been knocked out and had my balls taken away from me and everything.
Are there 2 of these?
It would be fun if, like, there were some way. Being hit. Someone is hitting me. A mean man is hitting me with an axe. I snowballed you. Viva la Mandy. Save me. Save me. Xanted69 says, how much art and work have you done on Seasons, and when in January can we expect it implemented? Ha, ha.
That's funny.
That is funny. We haven't done much work on Seasons, I'm afraid. Really none, to be exact. But I'm entirely open to chillax there for a while. Do that and we'll grind some more. This is what we were doing when the server crashed. Oh wait, don't start the mixing. There we go. So it'll be removed, Granger, on the next server restart.
Indeed.
That's results right there that you can only get from being here when the live action happens. It doesn't look like we can grind and chitin into chitin powder.
Did we never fix that?
I asked you to fix it, but...
Did you?
Yes, I did. I even explicitly said that I had added an input type for it. Why don't you have a look at that? We're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that right on. Can you remove Credo scaling too real quick? Asks Jordan Coles.
Credo scaling?
I think he wants there to be a fixed amount of quests per Credo.
Are you sure it's not the Credo death thing he's complaining about?
I don't know. He's complaining about Credo. It's one way or another.
Because I would like to remove the Credo death bonus, but then everyone would complain about it being impossible to catch up.
Yep. We're gonna hunt down this otter. We're gonna hunt it down and kill it. But yeah, no, seasons are definitely, I think seasons, combat system, I think those are the things that I'd like to work on. Mr. Sebakame says, finally I'm able to get in one stream. Hey, awesome, welcome. Welcome to the Christmas stream.
Does that mean that we are now taking seasons seriously?
I think so, yeah. I'd like to.
Yeah, sure, it would be nice, for sure.
I've actually had the idea that it could be something that we could work on a little bit, like iteratively, while you keep grinding away at the client only thing.
I guess. Is are crab parts supposed to count as chitin for this?
What do you think, chat? Crab parts, are they chitin?
They don't. It sure doesn't match its previously only being available from cave lice.
Yeah. No, I don't think crabs are not chitin.
Well, I mean, you do make chitin hats and stuff from them.
That's true, but no, but they're not. No. Any chance of adding the crafting of stocking?
What does stocking mean in this context?
Well, it's a Christmas sock to hang on.
Oh, I see. We did have that in Salem, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did. We should add that.
But then again, we also had a what's the word? Fireplace or furnace?
Yeah, we had an indoor fireplace.
Indeed. Which arguably we should have in Haven as well, though.
Sure, but
I have been arguing that we should have the fireplace tiles in Haven houses too.
Yeah. That wouldn't. Hey, there's a beaver dam here. There's a beaver dam here. If anyone is interested, there's one right here, right up in here.
Very chitin fixed. Oh, is that on the real server?
Yes.
I see. Cool.
Worshipful High King Verbal's Embankment of Dreams. Pretty good.
That was a good one.
Best part about making dungeons is
the names, yes.
coming up with the name generator. Potential bug with this update, says H&H Granger.
For the record, 3 anthills have spawned thus far.
Anthills inside giant anthills doesn't have quality though. Is that conceived? Anthills.
Ooh, they do.
Have a look at that. We're gonna have a look at that. We're gonna have a little bit of a look-see at that.
Indeed not.
Here's an anthil. We need to read that. What if we get a dungeon? That would actually be kind of fun. Re-add indoor fireplaces, please. We kept ours burning 24/7 and AFK there. Yeah. I'm not sure how indoor fire. I mean, obviously they don't. If we ever want to do like free-form building, I mean, then kind of wasted effort. But,
Yes, it.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. Depends on how you conceive of free.
I mean, surely we should have indoor fireplaces. even in a system with freeform building.
Certainly, that's true.
So I don't think it's a waste of effort in that way.
Sure. There's just no good reason not to do it then. So we should do it. We'll do it. Indoor fireplaces. We're gonna do that. Freeform building won't happen before seasons, and you didn't even think about making seasons yet, so chill. Well, I mean...
yeah. Well, I mean, that's not an excuse for totally redundant work, though, but I don't really think it is.
You are probably right. Yeah, frozen lakes and ice skating when? That's a really good question, actually. That would be a lot of fun. I mean, I suppose those things are the most hard to actually.
Yeah, indeed. That's the hardest part about seasons. That and snow on the ground.
Changing the terrain and stuff.
Indeed. But of course, also arguably the most important part about seasons. So there, the quality problem is fixed. Of course, current anthills will still be quality-less.
Also.
Oh, that's interesting. It was just a few minutes ago that I said that only 3 anthills had spawned, and now all of a sudden there are 6.
Anthill dungeons?
Yep.
Awesome. So there are 6 dungeons on the real server?
Yep.
Neat. Yeah, they work pretty. They're fun, but pretty grindy to add. It's kind of like, you have to, make like 5 variations of ant, which is a bit repetitive, but I shan't complain. Hey, someone is
here.
New world when?
Well, see, this is the question that we aren't just randomly missing.
This is a question we're ignoring.
Yes. So it doesn't really help that you bring more attention to it. I think you would be justified in cheating on this character to remove that.
The new world thing?
Yes.
We'll take the lumber he built and use it just for our little pals.
Sure.
Pulsing through the snow. I wanted perception, damn it.
Which is exactly the reason why you aren't getting it. You think that is coincidence.
I'm doing the lumberjack credo on my real character, and earlier today I had I was supposed to get 1 point of strength. I had so much strength food, it was gonna be no problem. Just so many sausages and shit and bear meat and stuff, and I had to eat through my cupboards in order to.
Implementing the part where the server anticipates what it is that you actually want was actually pretty hard.
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah. You had to really scratch your head to get that working.
But it was so totally worth it, though.
Exactly. You could imagine that being the case. The FU RNG algorithm patented. Mr. Sebacane says, I assume we could be expecting a Santa hat soon. Well, in fact, if you were to peruse the store,
you would notice that indeed there is.
Indeed there is. How nice of this nice man to
bring that up. Yes. To bring us all this wood.
Yes, exactly. Give me these wonderful stockpiles of wood, and so funny listening when you don't understand 95% words, but your laugh is a bit infectious. Dear Santa, I want to wake up Christmas morning and know English as my first language.
Well, to be fair, we don't know English as our first language. So.
Exactly. It's just a matter of you learning. You have to learn. You study. Granger says, could you please restart the servers so we can test the combat change before you head off to R&R? And it's broken the next weeks. Yeah, we'll restart it soon enough. It's a big deal, we can always turn it off, I guess. Palisade finally happening. But yeah, what else do we need to do for seasons? The tree model, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And then I guess there's the. I mean, there is the issue of how to. I don't know. Organize the resources for all this. I mean, trees are one thing, but if you are to add snow models to like everything.
I think that can be generated.
Yes, perhaps, but even if it can be generated, it still has to be organized in the resources somehow.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it would have to imply a change to the models. I don't think you have to change the models at all. I don't think you have to provide any information to the models.
I think it would be naive to think that the auto-generator would work well for everything. I think there are going to be things that we want to override.
Oh, certainly.
And that means that there has to be some kind of system for how to, you know, I don't think every single implementation in the game should have to specify that the snow layer for this particular resource is to be found in this particular way. There has to be some kind of systematization for this.
Sure. Yeah, no, I'm not disputing that really. I'm not disputing it. It also kind of like makes me wonder about the tree model. Like, I mean, I'd be happy to convert all the existing trees to winter form, to winter wonderland beauty. I think that could be, I'm not going to call it a fun project because it's going to be pretty grindy to go through all the trees and give them specific meshes and shit, or rather specific layers and crap for turning on the winter wonderland effect on them. But so that would be a lot of work, but generally I'm kind of thinking, like, should one try to generate trees? Should one...
That's a good question, isn't it? But also, is it really inscript, restricted to just winter layers? I mean, surely there should be spring and fall layers too.
Yeah, oh, sure. No, that's true. Yeah, it would be a fair amount of work to convert it all to make all the meshes kind of work.
There's also a separate question. I mean, obviously, if we have seasons, then surely you have to. Surely one of the main points would be for crops to be synchronized with the seasons.
Yep.
But an interesting part about that is obviously the fact that that would negate much of the differentiation in terms of crop grow times.
Would it? Not necessarily. Like if you can get 3 harvests per year of carrot and 1 of pumpkin.
Yeah, sure, but that would quantize it much more at least. It wouldn't be getting 1.4 harvest of carrots per harvest of wheat anymore.
Sure. That's true. Not sure if that's bad or good or whatever it is. I don't know. I have no idea how that would actually play out. I would love it though. I mean, it sounds great that there would be some like seasonality to that.
To crop growing.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. It's just again, it's. I mean, it also negates the fact that we have all these slightly varying growth times over the map and with kingdoms and round buffs and stuff. But
that's worth considering at least. I'm not sure how that would play out.
Right.
To be honest, I mean, yeah, with their like farmer bonuses related to that as well, and all kinds of stuff. So
that being said, of course, it should be. That's no excuse for not doing it. But
no, it is not. Will that mean temperature, snow changes that affect health and mobility?
Very definitely.
Presumably, yes.
I was thinking about it just the other second when you had the snow mask on. That you should obviously be having dropping body temperature while wearing the snow mask.
Yes, this is true. Yeah, and stuff like that could actually be fun. It could be
Mhm.
fun if it were like more dangerous to hunt in the winter. 'Cause
Indeed.
Animals.
And
could chase you.
obviously mountains should be colder as well.
Yeah. And clothes could actually matter.
Yeah.
In terms of how warm they are.
Yeah.
Which could also be somewhat interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you couldn't wear your best gear in the wintertime because
Mhm.
you have to blah blah blah.
Indeed. That being said, another issue I'd like to do something about is gilding,
Sure.
because it's somewhat retarded as it is now right now. Not completely retarded, but somewhat retarded.
It is a little bit retarded. I'm not sure. I think maybe the not sure what would be better actually.
Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? That's always the issue. Isn't it?
Why is it retarded?
I mean, the main reason, I guess, is that there's very little reason to ever gild expensive clothes.
Yeah, that's true. The system.
There's also the issue that if there's a specific value that you're aiming for,
Mhm.
you just spam the same gilding in every piece of clothing, which I don't really like.
Yeah, you put a bear tooth or whatever it is in every piece that you
Mhm.
have.
I mean,
It's stupid.
admittedly, obviously now I'm just a wee nub and everything, but I just noticed on myself when I made my first mining outfit that all I did was just make a set of linen clothes and then swap the same strength increasing thing and everything.
Yeah.
And
That is pretty.
not very fun.
Not sure how you would prevent that particular problem though,
No, indeed.
unless you want to like. Get
Well, I mean, one possibility that I have presented at least
Mhm.
is that you get diminishing returns for every duplicate item you have of a certain type.
Sure. Then
at the
I mean
moment.
that's the obvious like idea. To give you some sort of penalty for wearing multiples of the same item.
Mhm. The problem with it, I guess, just being that it makes it somewhat harder to calculate your bonuses.
Yeah, sure.
But no, I'm not sure how much we should actually care about that.
No, me neither. I'm not sure that's a good argument for not changing that. Gildings are most retarded because of how stupid metal qualities are.
Yeah, I'm sure that may be the case.
That's probably true.
And did we ever reach a conclusion about what you think about the whole spiraling issue?
No, not really.
I don't think you need to convert the grass terrains into dirt before paving them.
Right, that's true. That's true.
That is one of the few boni of building on grasslands.
You know what? I'm not even going to flatten it. I'm just going to build it. I'm not even going to spend half an hour. Ranger wants to be able to see quality in barrels. I agree, that would be nice.
I agree, but it is also somewhat controversial in terms of implementation.
Yeah.
Mostly because of quality and the possibility of multiple quality dimensions.
Is that the only reason?
Yes.
I'm not really. I'm not psyched about adding more quality dimensions.
I'm not psyched about preventing us from ever adding more quality dimensions.
But the barrels won't prevent us from that.
Yes, they will. They most definitely will.
Why?
Because whenever I would suggest such a thing, I doubt it. I doubt that would work out well. I also just don't really like it. I mean, it's not supposed to be a special kind of quality.
What do you mean it's not supposed to be a special kind of quality? What is not supposed to be?
The quality dimension.
Well, but I mean, shouldn't it? I mean, shouldn't it be possible to tell the quality of the contents of a barrel? I mean,
Yes, I do agree.
regardless-
I do agree in
irrespective
principle.
of-
I do agree in principle.
So what's the problem?
How to implement that in a modular manner.
Just iterate over all the quality types that an item has and present all of them.
Yes, but that I mean, the thing is that they are currently presented in a system that is dependent on item tooltips.
Okay.
I mean, not saying that it cannot be fixed or anything. I'm sure it can be fixed in some reasonable way. I'm just not exactly sure about what.
Right on.
It's not entire. Definitely, it is. I'm sure it's possible to fix. I guess all I'm saying is that it's not entirely trivial.
Sure. So if I really wanted to, I could force you into.
Yeah, probably.
It's nice to know.
Well, I mean, it just depends on how much time you want to spend on it.
Sure. Sure. And we have seasons to make, so.
Indeed.
Bigger and better thing. Granger thinks I should force you. One vote.
Do you actually think that we have nothing better to do?
Yeah. Is this the most important thing, Granger? Is this thing that should be prioritized over every other thing? Literally, the only thing here is lacking. Game is finished. Then we're finished. We're done.
Am I right?
I wonder how long. Oh, I'm plowing. I didn't get to something. I wonder how long we're gonna keep working on this.
You mean Haven?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like how many years from now will we still be doing
Guess that depends on how well it goes, doesn't it?
this? Yeah. And on when the real financial crash happens.
Yeah, that
and,
too.
The great.
Yeah, the whole internet going down.
Yeah, all internet goes down.
Well, of course, the EU is about to fix that anyway for us, isn't it?
Oh, what of their many strokes of
Copyright
genius?
directives, isn't that about to crash the entire internet?
Right. What was that all about? It was like, everything that you upload to the internet has to be
pre-checked for copyright infringement and whatnot.
Oh, the European Union is such trash. Everything about the European Union is such ultimate trash. Death to the Union. Down with every last one of these scummy politicians.
Utterly useless trash.
Utterly useless trash. I don't want to incite to violence, but geez, man.
It's so bad.
Yeah, these people are so.
And what is
disgusting.
And of course the worst thing about it is that our domestic politicians are all up in arms about
they love their continental overlords.
Yeah.
They love selling our country's independence down the river. They have no compunction about that. It's just happy cushy jobs for them in Brussels.
It's so bad.
With fat paychecks coming their way. So terrible.
Revolving doors everywhere.
Yeah, revolving doors everywhere. Fat, cushy jobs in the private sector afterwards. It's gonna be awesome, man. Whoa, politics talk, yeah. what you might get up in. So, fuck the union. Yeah. Before the First World War, it was entirely possible to travel all over Europe without needing a passport.
Really?
And that is no longer the case, because now you most certainly...
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. That was good. I remember it as a happy time. Death asks, I'm not going to ask server wipe when, but do you plan to server wipe? Politician credo.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, he is right. This could be an everlasting world.
Yeah.
But no, we are going. There's going to be a server wipe at some time, at some point. I don't think we are completely happy with the map generator and everything.
No, I think there's a fair bet that at some point there will probably be one. When that will happen, I am not about to tell. But I mean.
That being said, it would be kind of fun to go back to work on the map generator. It's interesting. A problem with the map generator is that I only ever work on it right before a reset.
No.
Technically, I could be working on it any time, but it doesn't really come to the top of my mind.
Well, I mean, yeah, you never really have the time.
Yeah, sure, there is that. But it's not like I couldn't spare a moment every now and then to work on it. But
sure, but. I mean, it's hard to prioritize it when it's not a priority, really.
Indeed. And it's always quite a bit of a chore to get back into the systems of it.
Sure, know that feeling. When you haven't worked on something for a long while, to get back in the game.
Indeed.
Back in the saddle, as it were.
That being said, though, please feel free to to present any suggestions you would have on the map generator. It's always interesting to say and just to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel about the map generator, children? Are you happy with it? What would you like to see on an upgraded map generator? Not 100% on how mine.
Yeah, why is your palisade made of anything other than gates? Why is that?
Because I'm not pro like you, sir. Could you guys add a few more cave levels quick? Don't think about it, just do it.
Well, I think I wouldn't necessarily be opposing to adding more cave layers, but I do think that if we are to do that, and then really even if we aren't to do that, I think there should be more differentiation between them. I think it should be less trivial to reach the lower layers than this now. But I'm not entirely sure just how, though. I mean, what is the reasonable restriction to go between cave layers? I've considered
ramp them up and force them to get something from that cave hole. Ramp up the cost for the mine hole and force them to get something from.
Yeah, sure. That's certainly an option. Yeah, we have discussed that previously. I think another idea I've had is to simply make it so that you need the strength to build a mine hole that you would have needed to mine the rocks on the cave layer directly below.
Not a bad idea that either. Rivers having currents, less waterfalls. Less waterfalls? Are you crazy, sir? More waterfalls. More diverse world.
When we have less waterfalls?
Yeah,
I don't quite get that. But yes, having currents is...
Granger wants a more diverse world.
Oh, well, I do too.
I was considering a less diverse world.
But now that you mention it...
Now that you say it, it's like, man, I'm so... Could you guys please make Ant Queen wings wearable? Yeah, I'll cook something up for you to make with them. And I can't promise you when I will deliver on this, but I'll make a note to fix that. Have you already slain a beautiful queen of mine? You murderous person. What do you think on Mado-san journey, the thing I did a couple of months ago, to travel the whole world? I'm not sure. I approve any and all activity in game, especially travel logs. So I support you. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, but I support you wholeheartedly. Makes the last level, cave level, completely dark. I'm sure that won't be. What's up?
No, I'm just trying to grab through the logs, and for some reason that bogs the I/O of the whole server. And it's so retarded.
Oh, you're the problem.
Yes. Well, not exactly, but kind of.
I think the good idea to make repairing depends on quality of repair thing. For example, you can make low Pnar later, you can hit it for 99% of repair with good quality items and the total quality is better.
I don't really like the idea. It is definitely a bad idea to be able to improve the quality in that manner, because then then only the quality of the items that you are repairing the thing with matters.
That's true.
So I don't like that at all. I'm not at all opposed to the contrary, though, of only having quality drop with repairs.
I could see that being the sadistic case. Princess Mandy says, is Loftar playing H&H2? Not presently, but in principle, I'm sure he is.
Yeah, I have an account. I haven't been playing actively for a little while now, but rest assured I am a nub.
Big slimes, killer giant centipedes, super trolls, and way less predictability with cave-ins at deeper levels. Yeah, those are good suggestions.
I guess that is good. I mean, the thing is, less predictability. Would you really want it to be unpredictable even with mine supports?
Not sure. Are you asking me, or are you asking what's actually reasonable? Yeah, I wouldn't mind it to be a little bit random, but I don't know.
I mean, honestly, I have considered making it so that mine supports only lower the probability of a cave-in rather than preventing them deterministically, but I'm not sure that would really be an appreciated change.
I don't think so. No. I don't think that's really the way we want to be going with this.
Well, there have actually been 3 and queens defeated thus far.
Wow, good job, guys. A for effort.
I hope you high-level guys are disappointed with the goods you get from them.
Why do you hope that?
Well, because they aren't the ones who should be grinding antils.
Right. Even the noobs should be the ones grinding the antils.
Indeed.
Can we have a dynamic fire system to burn down houses and walls?
Well, I mean, we have been thinking about such things since the inception of Haven, obviously, but there are balance issues.
Yeah, there are.
I'm not sure you would appreciate it, sir, if your entire base was burned down because there was a forest fire next to it.
Yeah, while you were away on vacation.
Indeed.
So while he chops, we're gonna go check the last room here and clear out the dungeon.
Is that so?
So here we have her. The beast we came to kill. I shall slay you.
No.
Or you shall slay me.
But not if I cheat.
Not if I cheat, indeed. Boom. Your vicious reign of terror has come to an end, madam. And I shall leave it to you guys to find the rewards for completing this yourself. So I'm just going to head out.
So it was Red Claw that you just
Yes, I slew Red Claw. Evil queen of the brooding, whatchamacallit. Alright guys, so we're coming up on 2 hours here, so I think we're going to pack it in pretty soon. The door spawned on top of the Ant Queen and I can't loot or pick it up. Well, that's unfortunate.
I thought so.
Apparently.
I guess that can happen.
Apparently. I'm sorry for your loss, my guys. What does one do about that?
I'm not sure, honestly.
That sucks. Unfortunate.
It's probably very unlikely, though.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. Please buy a hat. Yeah, pretty much. Have you bought the hat? You do me a favor, I do you a favor. I scratch my back, your back. No, no. Alright, but yeah, this is the final stream of the year. I committed to doing 12 streams at the beginning of last year, and I now have. This is the 12th one.
Indeed.
It's pretty awesome. It's been fun. I will probably do something similar next year. I also, another thing I committed to was to keep up to speed on the forums. That's less, I've made less progress on that. I'm still like 16 odd pages behind on Critique and Ideas, but I still intend to read through it. So, yeah, I'm still, and the year is not over yet, so I still have some time. So I can still make a push to at least be more up to speed with the Critique and Ideas section of the game. But yeah, it's been a strange year. It's like,
does the Timber House saga begin next year?
Next year begins the Timber House saga. Yeah, exactly.
Does that mean something?
I think he's remarking on the fact that I'm now done with the palisade.
Oh, I see.
So we'll spend all of next year building.
Right, that makes sense. You have been fumbling for a year now.
I've been fumbling for a year, and finally we have a palisade up.
Almost.
Almost. I bought hats to support my remodel idea, please. Thinking to buy subs too. Okay.
Remodel idea.
Remodel idea. I think I missed your remodel idea there, Flex 421. Flex 421.
Diversity with weapons, indeed.
That would be fun.
It would.
Isn't there some though? People seem to be using bows. Bows are overpowered, I hear. As always.
Indeed. Oh well.
But people use both swords and B12 axes, or do people only use B12 axes?
Can't say no.
Cut blade too small. Please enlarge. God damn it. Wait. Jeez. No. Come on.
Isn't it the old log there?
Ah. It appears you were right, sir.
Yeah.
Almost done with this. So we're going to finish up the palisade and then we'll call it a night.
Okay, everyone uses B12 except hipsters apparently.
Okay. Well, except hipsters. Why are
Not sure why though. Isn't the B12 kind of a problem that it increases cooldown? I would think that's.
I think you only hit them once.
Yeah, well, of course that's true. Right.
I don't know.
But isn't it supposed to increase the cooldown on all attacks? Perhaps not.
No.
Only on its own attacks, I guess.
Awesome, man, Zented. Jorb, are you ready to make some cash on the t-shirt idea, man? I'm for real gonna hit you up after I make some sales to give you your share. Thank you, man. That would be awesome. I told him he could make t-shirts.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna finish the palisade. We're almost there. Almost there.
If you don't, you can't begin the Timber House saga next
Exactly. We won't be where we need to be. We need to get to the finish, to the end of the palisade. Did we crash now?
No, you were just drinking.
Oh. Well, that's gonna take too long. Where'd my nice man go who used to help me and be so kind to us to fix up my wood blocks? Had such nice help with this. More clothes, please, says Drunken Jacob. Fashion in Haven. Yeah, would like to. It's just having a bit of a hard time finding the variations. A, making them mechanically different in some interesting way, and B, kind of like not dreaming about a generated system for clothing, like where I've talked about this before with you, haven't I?
I don't think we've talked about generated clothes, except colors.
I had an idea to make like I've told you about this before. I had like to make a paper cutout doll basically for the texture, where you can kind of combine parts, various parts of a garment to create new garments. So say you can pick for short sleeves, for example, and you could add like a pocket or add various details to the garment and basically construct it yourself.
Would that be good?
It would be fun. You could customize your look.
Perhaps. I don't think you mentioned this though.
Oh, I'm fairly certain. Anyway, that's just an idea that would be far off in the future if it ever were to materialize. So. But Questions. Can you make the wrought iron sword's agility bonus applied to main hand weapons? It would be a good offhand sword. I'm not sure I understand the question.
No, well, I think I see what he means. The wrought iron sword has a bonus where it increases your effective agility when it is used.
Right. So he wants it to increase the agility.
Indeed, but that doesn't make any sense.
Even when it's not being used.
Indeed. But I don't see that making any sense. In that case, that just means that the agility bonus is too small for you to want to use it to actually use the wrought iron sword.
Right. Yes, Overlord Merman. Key romance keeps spawning out even after using the key to open the door. Is this intentional? Yes, it is intentional. It's perhaps debatable, but it is intentional.
Indeed.
Thank you. Here we have the nice man with the tricorn.
Did he come riding on Morox?
Apparently, he's bringing it over. Like, let's make another door here as well. Let's make a quick escape door here. Almost there, boys. Almost there. It's going to be a long ass stream. Thanks for helping out, bruh.
What were those wounds?
What wounds? These wounds.
Palisade,
damage and fruits.
Damage. Nice.
Ah, isn't it?
It is.
So, wearing the sword would give the agility bonus, but only for the sword itself. Wrought iron sword damage is the problem, not the bonus. What are you saying? Is the damage too low? Do you want the damage increase? What are you saying, Chris? You're
but I mean, surely the solution here is not to make the wrought iron sword just an agility buff.
No, I don't think so. Sounds not right.
Why are you starting a new corner post?
Because I'm building a...
Yes, but the derivative... Yeah, no, I'm...
standing it's building... I am prepared for it. We're almost there. We're almost there. We are almost there. I see you guys have multiple sprites of salt, small swords or knives in storage chests and whatever. Thought of making them an actual thing. I would love if knives were more of a thing.
Yes, I mean, it would be nice generally if more kinds of weapons were a thing.
Yeah, or at least viable. I mean, they wouldn't have like... what sucks is that there's like this...
I mean, as you're saying, everyone is using B12 access.
Yeah, and that kind of sucks.
That's the real problem.
It would be really nice if there were like actual,
reason
variation.
Use various weapons.
Yeah. Or at least, if it were...
Which relates back to the combat system itself, of course.
It would also be fine if it were just a matter of choice, like just a matter of preference.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course, but right now it isn't.
Exactly. Which is just plain wrong.
Yep.
Boom!
There we go.
I'm just gonna make a lock for that sucker. Where do I? Oh, that's my key.
What are you using the key for?
On my other door.
No, I see. You already locked it.
Boom, guys! There we go. The palisade is finished. A couple of streams ago, you guys said you might do base tours on stream. Is this still a plan? Like base tours of our bases? Yeah, you will see my base eventually, when the stars are right. Guys, thank you so much for the stream. This has been a lot of fun. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's to you.
Indeed.
And yeah, have a good one, guys, and enjoy the patch. I hope it was to your liking. We'll be back in January, not entirely sure when. Might be like a week or so into January. have some things coming up, but yeah, we'll be back in January, and then we will have. I'll make some sort of posts about directions for the year and what we're hoping to accomplish, and all that good stuff, kind of like I did last year, and blah 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 blah. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun. 12 streams later, 12 streams down. We'll definitely be doing live streams next year as well. So yeah. Wow, thanks you so much. We got wolves in, that was good. That was one of the things we had written up in the to-do list for this year. So we just went and did it. Yeah, guys, take care. So much love. So nice of you to be here. So very nice of you to care about what you do, what we do, and supporting us, and blah blah blah. We're fortunate, and yeah, I really appreciate every last one of you. So thank you for taking the time to play our game and for watching our stream, and yeah, full homo, yeah. Merry Christmas and
have a good Yuletide.
Have a good Yuletide. Merry Christmas to all of you. God's peace with you and all that good stuff. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.